against Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Looked like he struggled in practice a little bit, but he no problems there.
Right, you know, all the bowlers are bowling at a little slower pace today as far as the scores are concerned. The balls are going just a little bit longer down the lane. Strike or a 10-pin. It's a strike. You can almost call that before he throws the ball.
Both players with strikes to open up this title match.
All right, so you're gonna hit this one.
Well, watch the 6-pin tap out the 10-pin, and I believe I heard Walter say, hey, no 10-pin. He's left 8 10-pins so far, his first couple of games, 1 4-pin.
Whoa, baby.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Oh, my gosh, did he get that ball wide?
Double out the gate for Walter Ray. Parker with a strike.
Walter Ray surprised himself on that shot. He thought it was going to go high, but it held the pocket. Parker trying to even the score right here in the second.
Through the back and double for both players now. Parker with a new fan club, the Bohn Zone. Over 600 members, a new website, pb3bowl.com. He's getting a few hits.
Take a look at the classic style. Look at that high backswing and the great knee bend. This man has got a beautiful game. Unlike Walter Ray, foot is perpendicular to the foul line. He's got a multi-million-dollar arm swing, just fluid.
That's 3 in a row, gets out the 7-pin. Your arm swing was worth just about that much, Marshall.
Well, I got by, I suppose. Ball charging back to the right. There goes the 7-pin being knocked out by the 4. I believe Walter Ray Williams switched balls. How does he know to do that? Well, that's what makes him so great. And what Walter Ray is doing is trying to find more carry. He knows he can hit the pocket, but he wants to be able to hit the pocket and get 10.
Both players starting off this championship match with 3 in a row.
Oh, no.
That's enough of those already.
Now, speaking of a heavyweight fight, there's the champ, Sugar Ray Leonard. Really nice to meet him. Very personable man.
Not a bad bowler, says 170s, 180s. Walter picks up the 10-pin spare, so after a 3-bagger and a spare, he's still down. Parker Bohn leads it.
Well, Parker Bohn, when you said the word lead, he's been doing a lot of that. He led last week, he led this week, and absolutely just dominated the field by over 500 pins. So I know he feels this should be his tournament, but he needs to take it now. A 10-pin for Walter Ray Williams Jr. and a 7-pin for TB3. That ball's way out to the edge. Makes the move back, but the 4-pin doesn't have enough motion on it to knock out the 7.
Picks up the spare. 3 wins for Parker. He had mentioned in the late 80s he wanted to win Player of the Year in the 90s, and final shot here looks like it's a good bet to win it.
Well, he's dominated the tour this year, and I think he's got that in a pretty good hand. But he wants to win this tournament right now. With a win here, I'm not exactly sure, but it'd be very close. He could go into #1 of the power rankings, ahead of Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Parker was a dismal 4th after the first round. Then just took advantage. You had mentioned that he led it by over 500 pins this tournament.
Yeah, and he just barely averaged over 200 last night. So if he was on his game last night, he could have led it by 800 or 900 pins. But he'll take the 500.
Just as long as you lead it by 1.
Yep. The ball that Williams switched to goes a little longer down the lane before it makes its break. Gives him a different angle into the pocket. And right now, it's giving him a little better carry. He's thrown 5 shots. He's carried 4 out of the 5.
We are dead even. Midway through this title match. Blowing in the thumb hole.
Just getting a better little tackiness, get a good feel. That's a pretty nice feel.
How heavy are those pins?
Those are 310 Brunswick Pro pins, but for Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Parker Bohn, nothing's too heavy for them. Right now, Williams 10 pins ahead. We'll be right back.
Both these players going at it in this championship match.
Well, it's time for Parker to return with a strike to answer back Walter Ray Williams Jr. and even the match.
.227 average this year.
Boy, his carry is a lot better in the title match than it was in practice. He really did struggle, as you mentioned earlier. These guys are having a good time. They're both smiling.
Identical score, 3 strikes each, then a spare, and now a double as we head into the 7th frame. Parker looking for win number 22, and Walter Ray for win number 31. Thought I saw an 8-pin.
The ball finished just a little bit to the right, but that's just the power of the bowling equipment. Just as good as the man can throw it, and he throws it as good as anybody. Match is all squared up again.
Well, three frames to decide this one, Marshall.
Identical scores, 3 strikes a spare and 3 more strikes for both of these competitors. Who's going to flinch?
From the director of The Greatest Showman comes the most original musical ever.
No, stop it.
I don't think Walter flinched. It was just that 7-pin that said, I'm not going down. He left a lot of 10 pins tonight, and now a 7.
Now you'll see the 5-pin. It's going to race in front of the 7. Disappointment for Walter Ray Williams Jr. Needs to make the spare, which should be almost a given for him, and it is. Now the door right now is wide open for Parker Bohn III to jump right through. 42 games led by 538 pins. 3 frames to win it back.
But last week lost the title match to Rick Lawrence.
Gotta hurry. 7th pin, the last pin to fall.
11-pin lead as we head into the 9th frame. Wow. Now Parker's just wiping his ball off with the rag, get the oil.
Wants to make sure the ball's clean, get the oil off the ball so he can repeat the same shot he made last time.
That's nice. Both players still slapping hands.
High flush for Parker Bohn, and the reaction, not only does he want the vindication of winning this tournament, but he's bowling Walter Ray, wants to beat him too. And you could hear Walter saying he got it too far into the oil, didn't have the power on the ball to knock down the 7-pin. .247, the best for Williams. he needs to strike out just to force Parker Bohn to show up in the 10th frame.
Well, another great week by Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Bowled so well over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Of course, he's bowled so well for many, many years.
That ball was further to the right off his hand. That's where he's got to project the ball down the lane, down the right-hand side of the lane. If he pulls it a little bit, doesn't get the good roll on the ball, and that's when the carry's bad.
Again, a possible 247 for Walter Ray.
He's going to make him show up. Could force Parker to mark in the 10th frame. Still needs a good fill here in the 12th shot.
Come on, get over.
Leaves with a 10-pin at 246. Walter Ray Williams Jr. Now Parker Bohn up in the 10th. Needs a mark.
Oh, 9 missed it.
3 in a row to start this match for Parker, then a spare, and now 5 in a row.
Just needs to maintain his form. And he gets it done. There's the strike.
Parker Bohn, like a true champion. Disappointed last week. Comes back with a vengeance, leads his tournament by over 500 pins.
Well, that ball just barely squeaked back, and look, what, does he want it? Does he want that bad? That's as much emotion as you're ever going to see out of Parker Bohn III, a 22-time PBA champion.
Chance for a 279.
Now he's just having fun. Now, Parker, you're the best this week.
Oh, fuck.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think I know him.
274. To 246. Couple of great champions. Parker Bohn, the winner of the Canadaigua Open, will be back to talk to Parker coming up here in just a couple of minutes.